Good afternoon, church family. Today is Monday, the 16th of May, and I am bringing you an update live from our studio underneath our church sanctuary. I'll let you know that you're going to hear some hammering going on in the background. We debated on whether or not to even move the time or move the location so you wouldn't hear it, but I want you to hear it because that's the sound of progress. When I arrived here at First Baptist Church Concord almost 5 years ago, one of the big maintenance programs that was ahead of us yet was the replacement of all the windows in the sanctuary. When the sanctuary was built back in the early 90s, all of our beautiful windows, the Palladium windows, all the surrounding windows in the sanctuary were installed, and they are gorgeous. But they were all framed with wood, and over time, wood corrodes, wood breaks down, and it begins to leak, and the seals in the panes begin to leak, and that's really where we found ourselves. And so I don't know how many years before I came, we had been planning on what to do with these windows. But since we've gotten here, the Lord's blessed us with a little extra. People have given sacrificially to our windows. And so we were able to replace the big ones several years ago, and then just last week we began replacing all of the other ones that surround the sanctuary. And so the hammering you hear are them working to install aluminum framed windows. Now this means that those the wood frames won't corrupt because this is aluminum, and so they will last significantly longer without leakage. And this is good news. So if you hear the pounding behind me, just know it is a great blessing from the Lord. It's progress, and it really not just a testimony to what the Lord does, but also a testimony to people in this church who said it's important for us to maintain what God's given us, to be good stewards with it, and we are going to give over and above what we normally give in order to make these windows right again. So that's what this is. I'm so excited. Probably by Wednesday or Thursday of this week, that project will be complete. And so I'm really excited. We just have a few more small things that we're waiting on, and then everything that we started back in December will be complete. So that's good news. Just a few things I'd like to tell you about. First, I want to say once again, congratulations to Pastor Aaron Edwards. He graduated on Saturday with his Master of Arts degree in Christian Ministries from oh my goodness, I'd just forgotten the name of it. From his seminary that is in Massachusetts, Gordon Conwell Seminary in Massachusetts. There's an extension here in Charlotte. Please forgive me, that is so unprofessional, but my mind just went completely blank. But Pastor Aaron, we are so glad for your accomplishments. You've stuck with it over a long time, a little here and a little there, but praise the Lord, brother, you are free at last from that. You've succeeded. And so it was great to have our church recognize that yesterday. And so church family, thank you for that privilege of just celebrating an accomplishment for one of our great choice servants of the Lord. Just a few things I'd like you to know coming up this week. This Thursday evening, May the 19th, we're having our man church, 6:30 in the evening. Men, bring your friends. Come on out. When I say man church, that's just the name of it. We want your sons, whatever age, to come on. This is a gathering of importance because we are pouring into each other's lives. We're built around the Scriptures. We're singing together. We're eating together. It's important for God's men to come together and spend time with one another. So please make arrangements for that. Young Heart Mystery Trip is next Thursday, the 26th of May. As Pastor Aaron says, it's a mystery. We're not telling you where we're going, but please make a point to be a part of that May 26th. On Tuesday, the 24th of May, our church is hosting the Concord High School baseball team here. It's one of our mission outreach events. We do this so that we reach into our community, minister there with the hope of both building a good relationship with our community, but also with the hopes that we'll get the opportunity to share the gospel. So when I speak at a gathering like this, I try to make some fun comments about baseball. I love baseball, and so I played when I was a kid, and so I try to break the ground that way. But I always lead to the gospel, that our only hope is in Jesus. And so please pray for that event. If you can volunteer for it, help serve, help clean up, help cook, any of those things, see Alex Hamilton or Jeff Bowers. They're in charge of that. They would love to put you to work and let you be a part of this outreach into our community. And then finally, on Wednesday night, June the 8th, is a Q&A for our Constitution and Bylaws. We put together an ad hoc committee who reviewed our Constitution and Bylaws and then amended them, did some work on them, revised them in order to get them up to the way that we're practicing now. This is no aspirational event. We're not looking forward to something that we're going to change to. What we're doing is trying to bring our guiding documents up to match what we're already doing. This is good practice for any business or corporation or team to make sure that the way that you practice is also the way that you say that you practice. And so much of this is that way. There's a few tweaks over things that we no longer do, different ways that we communicate that we no longer communicated that way in the past, or just those kinds of changes. But we want you to be a part of it. Don't just take my word for it that everything is the way it should be. I believe it is. But we want your interaction, because this is us. This is who we are. We decide together how that we are going to conduct our business and go about doing the things that we do. Most important probably is our examination of our membership situation. And so I want you to come out and pay attention. By the way, nothing has changed with that, but it's important that we do things intentionally. I've said this over and over again since I've been here, but I'll say it again. The most important document or tool that a Baptist church has is its membership roll. And the reason why that is because we believe at the very heart of what makes a church is the regenerate church membership. That is, that every person that's a member of our church is born again. They've repented of their sins and trusted Christ. They've demonstrated that through baptism, through the water, believer's baptism. And so all of that is important. And so our role, our church role, guards that. Everything else we do as a church comes from that foundational belief that a church ought to be only believers. And so everything else comes from that. So come out and join us June the 8th. It's going to be a question and answer, easy for me to say, a question and answer period, interaction with it. It'll be moderated. We'll go through that time together. And then several weeks later, we've not yet put a date on the day of the vote, and that's only because we want to see if there's any work that needs to be done after the Q&A period. But then we will announce a date for the vote, and on that vote on a Sunday morning, it will be an up or down vote. There will be no comments on that day, so it won't be a normal church conference on the day of the vote. So in order for your voice to be heard, you need to be here that Wednesday, June the 8th. And so please make plans to be there. If you cannot be there beforehand, contact either Jill Wall or John Yancey or Marilyn Blackwell, or Phil Hudson or Corey Cochran. Those are the members of this team. Contact one of them and get your concern to them so that it can be addressed on that Wednesday evening. There won't be a way to call in, and there won't be a time to do over. So if you want your voice to be heard, you need to make a way for it to be heard either on that night or through one of those people I just mentioned. So thank you for being a part of that. I said one last thing, but there really is two other things that you need to know that are in June. They're still a ways away, but since I went into June 8th, I figured I ought to give these a show. June the 3rd, which is a Friday, is our missions golf tournament. Sign up. All the proceeds go to our missions here through First Baptist Church Concord. And then on June the 4th is Paint to Praise. If you want to be a part of Paint to Praise, ladies, you need to let Claudette Fowler know ahead of time so that she can purchase the materials necessary for your painting on that day. All of that's coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I hope that the noise behind me as they've replaced these windows hasn't overwhelmed you. I hope you've been able to pay attention to what I've said. All of this is progress. Friends, I want you to know the Lord is with us. He's moving us in a direction that only He knows where it's going to end, but we're seeing great things happen here at First Baptist Church Concord. Church family, as I always say, I love you. I'm so proud to be your pastor. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Won't you come and go with us? Let's do what God's called us to do for Jesus' sake. So God bless you. Have a great week.